Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Audrey and today we're playing on my island of Gingersnap. And Gingersnap, I'm making a video on it every day up until Christmas, and I'm decorating it all holiday themed, and it's great. It's kind of like a little advent calendar that we're doing here. And today we're doing tons and tons of little transitional areas because I made this big market build yesterday that was fun and exciting to do, so go ahead and check it out. I made it yesterday. It was fun, but I did leave a lot of room around it, which generally I don't like to do. I like to make the transition areas as I go, so then they're small, but I didn't do that this time because I really wanted to make that gosh diddly darn market spot. So I have this whole area behind the market, and then I have like the pathways leading up and around it. So I have this villager neighborhood here, and I don't really know like what to do with this top section up here. I thought about maybe adding some more villager homes, but I was like, no, we'll just make it like a little wintry path that kind of serves as like a backdrop for the market because it's not big enough to really do anything meaningful here. So I was like, you know what, it's just gonna be a backdrop, you know what I mean? And that's fine. That's all she's gonna be. And it is gonna be a pathway that leads you down to the market from the neighborhood, because if you go up to the neighborhood, you're a little bit stuck up there right now. So that's kind of how I'm dealing with it. I don't know. The flow of the island feels really good so far. This is kind of the only piece that I'm like struggling with, because the whole island is like flat except for one section. So it's it's interesting. I probably could have done a lot more terraforming and make things a lot more interesting. I also feel like that's a great way to fill out a build, is adding terraforming and waterscaping, but I didn't do any of that because I am under a time constraint here, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have all day to be doing this. I gotta do this just in time for Christmas, and I only have 24 25-ish days, so that's kind of what's going on here with this. But I did like how this little transitional area thingy turned out. I feel like it turned out pretty good, at least in my opinion. I quite liked it. So this little clearing that leads to the secret beach, I don't think I'm gonna do anything with the secret beach on this island, but I do have an idea for right there at that clearing. I just didn't decorate it because I don't have the items for it at this very moment. So I'm gonna do that later. You know what I mean? I think tomorrow we'll do a little bit more decorating. Today, this was like an actual productive day. Like, there are days where I'm like, oh, I was really productive on the island, and I wasn't. This is a day where I did a lot of the things that I've been putting off. Like clearing things out, moving stuff, like this little lake here. I guess it's not a lake. Is it a pond? It's more of a pond. If a lake was that small, that would be kind of sad. So this little pond here has always been in my way, so I cleared it out because, you know, I want only flat land. I don't want water or cliffs, apparently. And I cleared out a lot of other things. My rocks are all kind of like grouping towards the left side of the island because that's the part that I haven't done yet. And also Rolled was right in my way. Thank you so much, Rolled. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the rocks. I don't know if I'm just going to let them spawn where they want, or if the day of the dream address I'm going to go and break them all. I'm not sure because they don't really fit anywhere at this very moment. They're all just kind of like spawning over to the left. If they were to go up on those like cliff areas that I don't really do much with, I don't think I would mind. But like, I just have a feeling they're just not gonna spawn where I want them to, because that's how those rocks are. Have you ever tried building a rock garden? It's like pretty much impossible, it feels like. I don't know why they've done that to us, but it's okay. It's none of my business. It's Nintendo's business. I think it's cool that you can make a rock garden. I feel like in other games your rocks were just like where they were, and I feel like they were always like right where you wanted to place your path. But now at least we have the luxury of being able to break them if they're in a spot that we don't like. I also have this little bulldozer that's pushing snow, which I thought was so cute. It's like a little snow plow. I love it so much. And then this spot was empty, and I was like, something has to go here, and I had no idea what. So I decided to just make it like a little seating area where somebody maybe plays the piano, or where people sit and relax, and if they got like a coffee at the market, they drink their coffee, or if they got a little snack there, they can eat their little snack, or something like that. I thought it was fitting, especially for this area. I didn't know what to do. I also didn't want to put that little brick pathing like underneath it all, because there's so much brick pathing like right above us at the market. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put pathing under this spot. I feel like I should. I thought about maybe putting some like big like blanket looking things, like the round blankets, because I have so much space left for custom designs. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I think I should. I feel like it'll make it look a little bit more cohesive, like I knew what I was doing while I was doing it. Because sometimes I feel like if you just put items down and there's no like custom designs or anything like framing it, it kind of looks like, you just slapped some stuff down and left it. Oh, here I am. I was taking a little pause because I guess I'm about to demolish all those trees. I cleared out all these pear trees because I don't intend on keeping pear trees on the island, and unfortunately for me, the only trees that I have left that I am not using are just pear trees. So I knocked them all down. I was like, go away, pear trees. I don't want you here anymore, because I'm going to replace them all with trees that I am going to use. So I'm going to be using apple trees, the regular hardwood trees, and cedar trees. Obviously, what's a Christmas island without cedar trees? I also keep 15 wooden branches there. Wooden branches. I think a branch is always wooden. I keep 15 branches there because if you don't have 15 branches somewhere on your island, then they will fall down from the trees, and I don't want those to just be like fallen off of the trees. I don't mind having the little branches around as decoration. I think it could be quite cute. However, it's not the vibe when it goes where it wants. I want it to go where I want it to go. You know what I mean? So I just have them placed down. Same with, I also like to have 6 fossils planted somewhere. Buried. They're not planted. You can't really plant a fossil, can you? I like to have 6 fossils planted. I said planted again. Oh my goodness. I like to have 6 fossils buried somewhere, because if you have that, then more fossil dig spots won't spawn, and I don't want to have a bunch of random dig spots in my island. It'll mess with my decor, you know what I mean? It'll mess with the aesthetic. So I do place those down later on. I do bury those and place those. And I dug up all these pear trees because we're not pear girlies on this island, and the dung beetles were really doing the most today. They were really working those snowballs, making them get large and in charge, and I was like not paying attention to them at all, and I do end up making a really tragic and sad snowman. You'll see it here in a minute. I can't believe that happened to me. But it did feel very satisfying to finally clear out these trees that I never really liked in the first place. So, if something is making you unhappy on your island, just, get rid of it. Just, chop it down, So that's what I did. I was really happy about it. And I do also plant so many trees, and I planted them in kind of like an orchard kind of order, and I do time travel forward a little bit, and when you do that, not all of them will grow. I know there's a way to plant them like a little bit more spread out, so then that will happen, but I mean, I didn't care all that much. Like, by the time I use all of the trees that are grown up, the ones around it will be gone, and then they'll grow, if what I'm saying makes sense. I get it. Hopefully you get what I'm saying, because I understand what I'm saying. I've also had these yellow flowers here since I started the island. Always hated them. Never wanted them there. Yellow does not really fit my little theme. So I finally got rid of those. That felt great to do. And I keep saying like, oh yeah, we don't have a whole lot left. But then when I was walking around, I was like, oh my God, we really don't have a lot left. Like it felt real, because rarely do I go on the empty parts of the island unless I'm decorating them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not a lot of space left, which is so cool and exciting that I'm like actually kind of, nearing the end, and I'm making good time on the island. And, I don't know. I'm happy with how this challenge is going. I don't think any of this is like the best decorating I've ever done in my life, for sure, because I feel a little rushed. It makes sense that I would, but I do really like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to. I don't have to always make something, my very, very, very best. It's a video game. You know what I mean? It's not a competition. It'll all be okay at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was planting out the apple trees, which I just think the apples look so like red in the winter. Does that sound silly to say? They just look so bright and like stark red in the winter. It's really kind of impressive. So I was excited to have those around the island instead of the pears, because the pears look a little dull. I feel like the pears shine when they're against that like dark green tree. And the light green really like kind of pops against when the hardwood trees are dark green, as opposed to when they're this like, I don't know, they're kind of blue. I feel like the leaves on the trees are like a little blue in the winter, this like icy kind of cold looking color. Do you know what I mean? I mean, of course it's cold looking, it's snow, but I think they're a little too muted to look good against the bright white snow. That is kind of the challenge of decorating in the snow in Animal Crossing. It's so bright, and I feel like that really reflects off the items. Like the color of how the items turn out in the winter looks very different in versus how it looks when everything's very green. I don't know if that's like the trick of the eye, but I do feel like the light kind of bounces off everything a little bit differently, even though it's not real. Like if this were real life, you'd be like, yes, that makes sense. That is how light bounces off of things. But do we think that maybe it does the same thing in Animal Crossing? Or is it just a trick of our eye? Also, look at that snowman. He also says, like, I can't say I'm the best looking snowman, but thanks for making me. He was so ugly. I can't believe I did that. I was just trying to get it out of the way, and then I accidentally made like the most tragic snowman in the whole world. I didn't mean to do him dirty like that. Like, I'm so sorry that I brought him into this world looking like that. You know what I mean? Poor snowman or snow boy. I don't know. In Animal Crossing they have snow boys. I think in New Leaf you could make like a snow woman and a snow boy and a snowman. You can make like all of them. Like you could have a whole little snow family going on. But I don't know. I'm not good at making snowmen in Animal Crossing. The ratio just like doesn't make sense to me for some reason. Because you want the top to be like smaller than the bottom, obviously, but not like too much smaller. And I think maybe like in the United States, we make our snowmen have 3 tiers, and the top is, the head is usually very small in comparison to the other 2 tiers. And I think in Japan they only do 2-tiered snowmen. I know they make little rabbits in the snow, which I think is so cute. So that's why the snow people in Animal Crossing are only 2 tiers. I believe. I could have just made all of that up, and I think that's why the ratio isn't making sense to me. You know what I mean? Like my Western brain is like, no, this is what a snow person looks like, but it's not made by a bunch of Americans. It's made in Japan by Nintendo. I actually don't know if they develop their games like in Japan. I guess that's worth looking up, but I'm not about to do that, to be honest. But now I was kind of decorating those little transition areas so they looked full, and I could just not think about them anymore. That's kind of my whole goal, is like when I do one thing, I like to not think about it anymore. I like to think that it's done. You know what I mean? I do think because we're making such good time, I'll be able to go back in and kind of spruce up any of the little details before we're completely done with the island. However, we're not done yet. You know what I mean? And I still want to make sure I get things as complete as possible. So if I don't get that opportunity, then, everything's totally fine. Everything looks complete and finished. And I'm kind of going with this like foresty situation vibe, and that's really easy to do, to make transition areas in, because these like foresty spots are super you just put some trees and some bushes and some flowers and like you've done it. You know what I mean? And man, putting trees up on cliffs like this is so difficult because of like the constraints. I know there's a way to like put a tree on a cliff's edge, and I totally could have done that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I was not gonna do that. Okay. That felt like a lot of effort that I was not willing to put in, and so I didn't do it. Hopefully that doesn't offend you. I don't see why it would. But yes, anyways, I was working on these little transitional areas, adding my trees, adding my bushes. Sometimes you add like a wheat field or a leaf pile here and there. Those items that they've added in the game that you can like walk through are amazing. They're a great way to add some interest to like big open walkways, because you don't want them to be, you want them to be open so people can walk through them, but then it looks really boring. So it's nice that there's things like scattered papers and wheat fields and stuff that you can walk on, so that it's easier to play the game. I'm a little sleepy today. It's a sleepy Sunday, Who doesn't love a good, cozy Sunday vibe? I sure do. I feel like that's so wintry to like be cozy. Drink some hot chocolate, drink some, hot tea. A hot beverage of any kind is just so cozy and wintry. Ugh, that's the vibes. That's the vibes I want this island to give you. It's the vibe of like, man, I love me some cozy time. It's also nice to think about how Animal Crossing, like my character's outside all day, but I get to be inside, you know what I mean? So I don't have to deal with the cold, but I can pretend to deal with the cold. We love video games, you know what I mean? They really just allow us to act out things. But in real life, I don't even know what I'm on about anymore, but that's all good. That's all fine. I kept this little walkway up here simple, mostly because it was hard to place a lot of things up there. And also the market is right below it, and I want the focus to be on the market, but I want it to look full above the market. So that's kind of what I was going for with that. Hopefully it comes out really well. I think it did. I kind of walked through it before and I was like, okay, yeah, that's nice that there's something up there, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is still like this market that I tried so hard on. So that's really nice to see. But it's crazy to me how fast this is all going along. I think it's because a lot of the builds are quite large. I feel that way. Anyways, I feel like everything I made it kind of big. And that was pretty purposeful because then it fills up space very quickly. And I also try to do a lot every day that I'm playing on this, because I don't want to scramble and panic at the end, because I feel like the end result would not be something that I was like completely proud of. So that's kind of my thought process, my thinking with that one. And I love using all these red and white flowers. It's so Christmassy and cute. I never use red flowers. I love the white flowers. I love the green mums. I love all the black flowers. For some reason, those really speak to me. And some of the orange ones, not all, but some of them, I really like those, like I said, I'm sleepy today. I'm so sorry. Normally I would edit that out, but this is real. This is real, what we're experiencing together on this sleepy Sunday. But yeah, I think we're kind of nearing towards the end of what I did on this day. I was just trying to like fill everything out and make it look good. I kind of just walked back and forth and I don't really do anything for a minute here. Oh, actually that's a lie. I just completely lied to you. I make an entire path that goes from that little bridge up there down to the path walkway that we have, which is cool that I've kind of like completed that and made it go full circle. I do think the next thing that's going to have to happen, the path is going to have to kind of diverge a lot, just because of like where we're at the island and the shape it kind of takes. But that's fine. It's not a big deal that it's gone like that. And I will tour you guys around. So, I'll show you the flow how I want you to see it. And also if someone tours it and they don't go the way that I intended, like really, that's okay. Like that is not the end of the world. Like everything will be okay if someone tours it around in a different fashion than what I anticipated. But while I'm finishing up this path here, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for following the series. I've been having so much fun with it, especially after taking like a break from making videos, coming back and like, you know, hanging out with you guys every day and like reading comments from you guys every day. It's just so fun and I love it so much. So I will be back tomorrow. If you want to see me tomorrow, subscribe to get notified when I put out another video. I'm making one every day up until Christmas. Like the video if you liked it, and we're at the end here. So this isn't one where I show you what I built because I didn't build much, but I will see you guys tomorrow.